Hey guys, it's Barry Van Lunen here at Curious Puppies, and I like to congratulate you because this video is meant for people who were one of the lucky ones that got a puppy. So normally I talk to you for a while when you're here, give you some instructions, have a little bit of, kind of guide you out the door with your puppy in your arms. And a lot of people that come here, it's the first time they have a puppy, so this is a bit nerve-wracking, and I totally understand that. I will miss some parts in this video. There are actually over 50 training videos we have made for people like yourselves before and after getting a puppy, so I highly recommend you go and get those videos. Now, I do like to give you a couple of hints here, kind of in a nutshell to get you started right off the bat, because when you start watching those videos, there are a lot of videos in there. As I said, there's over 50 videos and it's about 6 hours in total. You do not have to watch them all, although I highly recommend, especially if this is your first time owning a puppy, to watch as much as you need, because there are an insane amount of information and tips and tricks and helpful information in there. This is the stuff that we give you because we have over 13 years, almost 13 years of experience. We know what questions people have, what problems people come across, and we just want to help you because we don't want you to panic and don't know what to do. So we have learned over the years that there are many people that are so-called experts. They think they know what they're doing when they've had 1 or 2 dogs. We've been doing this for a long time, so we know what is going on and what does work. A lot of it is self-taught. A lot of it is by trial and error. Thousands of hours of phone calls with people with questions and problems and trying to solve it, and we figured out a way to help people. So what better way to listen to someone who knows what they're talking about? Okay, I'm tooting my own horn here. So first things first. So we will, when you did get through, we will talk about a specific time and date for pickup. So it'll be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday in this case, and then we go in half-hour intervals for pickup times. Please arrive on time, as other appointments come right after you, and we don't want to be like a doctor's office where you have to wait in your car. We will need your phone number, so when you are here, we will call you when it's time to come in. When you come in, you will sign our guarantee, and we will have our paperwork ready for you. It's all filled in. So every puppy has their own vet papers. In these vet papers, I hope I can show this correctly. As you can see, there's a couple things that we fill in here, opposite time. So there's a couple of dewormers that are given, and then we give you a little to-do list with what we would like you to do. Now, normally we ask people to take a stool sample to the vet within a week. However, due to the times we are currently in, I just recommend you skip that part. Don't worry about the stool sample right now. We do put in the dates for the 2nd and 3rd needle. Every puppy's had their first shot done already. That was done on that day for this particular puppy. And it's just, it's just a standard booster shot. We will fill in the dates for the 2nd and 3rd needle. Call a vet and see if you can make an appointment. We spoke to someone recently, and he said they could bring the puppy in. There was no problem. However, they basically had to drop off the puppy at the door and then pick it up later. And that's fine, of course. So you may have to just call ahead and see what's going on. Okay, so the 1st and 2nd needle, the 1st needle is done. The 2nd and 3rd needle, we'll write the dates down so you know exactly when to go to the vet. We do recommend females to be spayed around 5 months, males to be neutered around 6 months. There will be vets that recommend spaying around 6 months, which is fine. The reason why we recommend 5 months is because the majority of vets say 5 months. Mainly because it is rare, but some females can start their first heat at as early as 6 months. That's why most vets do 5 months, so you get that done with. Okay, so they've had a few dewormers. There were a couple internal as well as external dewormers done. Don't be alarmed if you sometimes need another treatment done. So if you find that the stool looks a bit funny, that is pretty normal. Sometimes they do need another treatment. The treatments that we give, unfortunately, they don't work for 100%. They work for about 60 to 80%, which means sometimes they do need another treatment. There's nothing we can do about it. That's just the functionality of the medicine made by the pharmaceuticals. So that's literally all I can do. There's nothing I can do about it. So sometimes they do need another treatment. There's nothing concernable about worms or parasites. It just simply means you just don't have a nice looking poo. All right, so follow the dates that we put in your vet papers. As I said, not all vets are available, so I'm just going over my points list here. Okay, so taking your puppy home. People always ask, how do I take my puppy home? Well, if you have a family member with you in the car, I do recommend taking an old towel with you. You can hold the puppy on your lap. Be prepared that they often barf in the car. Sorry, the first few car rides, they don't like it so often, so they often throw up. We feed them here, so sometimes the food comes back out. I try not to feed them too close to pickup time, but sometimes it's so long in the day that they just have to eat something. So I apologize in advance. It's just food. It's just a little slimy. It's just food. So take some paper towel or an old towel with you. If you are by yourself, you don't necessarily have to get one of those travel containers for them. You can do a box, a laundry basket, a Rubbermaid, something to have the puppy in. Again, put an old towel down just in case they have a bit of an accident. They don't tend to pee or poo in the car unless the ride is really long. Usually by that time you have a coffee break, if you know what I mean. Okay, so when you come home, little Kickstarter trick for potty training here. When you come home, park your car, walk around the house to the backyard, if that's where you want to train your puppy. Let the puppy down in the yard first before you come in. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is most puppies, after about 45 minutes to an hour in a car, they tend to have to go to the bathroom. So when you, not necessarily when you're holding them, but when you arrive and you let them loose, they're like, finally I can pee. So what happens if you bring the puppy in the house, they're like, I don't care where I am, I have to pee. So guess what? It's going to be on your floor. Now, the next time they have to go to the bathroom, guess what? The previous place they went was safe, so they want to go there again, and then later again. So now you're kind of trained them to go in the house. So to kickstart it off, go to the spot outside, walk around your house, walk through your house, don't let the puppy down, let them pee outside first, then come in the house. So later in the day when you go outside again, they already smell their own scent there, and they're like, hey, I guess I was okay here, I'll do it again. If you forget, there's a little trick. You come in the house, you put the puppy down, and they pee on the floor. Bugger. Anyways, take some paper towel, clean up the pee, the poop too, but don't take the poop outside. Just take the pee on the paper towel and rub it outside in the grass, the dirt, the mulch, even if there's snow, just to transfer the scent of the pee outside, because it will encourage them next time to go there because they smell their own scent. And they're like, I don't remember going here, but sure smells like me, so I guess I was okay there, and I'll do it again. Okay, moving on to crate size. So if you want to get a crate, I highly recommend crate training because, trust me, it makes your life so much easier. Even if you don't want to do long-term crate training, that's fine. But for potty training, it's really a must. So cockapoos, I recommend a 24-inch crate with a divider. And the mini golden doodles, I recommend a 30-inch crate with a divider. You want to place the crate away from you. You want to separate yourself from the puppy right away. So the first 2 nights they will be crying. So be prepared. 2 nights crying, 3rd night quiet. We've been doing this for a long time. They are quiet the 3rd night. You have to be strong and let them cry. This is a tough one for some people. Because a lot of people think, well, maybe they have to pee. Well, I want you to let them have an accident. Did I just say that? Yes, I just said that. I want you to have an accident. Let them have an accident in there because they don't like to lay in it. They will learn very quickly, ew, gross, I don't want to do this. And after 2 days, the 3rd day, they're like, wait a minute. Every morning, I get up and then we pee right away. And since I know you're coming, I'll hold it. And then we'll go outside and pee. So very quickly, they learn to hold it in the crate because you force them to. And that's the reason you have a divider, to make it as small as possible, where they can still turn around in there, where they're comfortable. But if you give them too much room, they'll pee in one side, they'll sleep in the other side, they're not bothered. The reason why you have a divider is so that they are going to be bothered by it if they are in their own stuff. So that is also the reason why you don't put a nice bed in there for now, because they will soil it likely for the first few nights. So put an old towel down for now. That way you can just throw it out or you can wash it or whatever, but you don't have a nice bed in there that you just spent $50 on and then, oh my gosh, now I can't wash it properly. Okay, so again, 2 nights crying, 3rd night quiet. You have to be strong. Let them cry no matter what. Again, it's 2 nights. If you need to put the puppy in the basement, far away from you, so be it. I do, however, have a video on people living in condos and apartments. So I want you to check that out if you are living in a condo or an apartment, because it is a bit different there because you have neighbors that can hear it and may complain about it. If you can get through it, please do it, because it will benefit you in the long run. Because if you don't, you may have a lot longer crying for that period of time. But again, go through that video if that's the case. But if you're in a townhouse or a regular semi or whatever you call it, try to let the puppy sleep by itself and do not let them out. Okay. The reason why I say this is because if you start to give in, guess what? A puppy sees a pattern in 3 days. So day 1, you get them up. Day 2, you get them up. Day 3, you get them up. Now it's a habit. You have to come back for day 4, day 5, etc. So I had people that were walking their dogs for the rest of the dog's life in the middle of the night because people gave in the beginning. So if you avoid this from day 1, you'll never have to deal with it. They just know, nope, I get up at 7 or whatever time you get up. And that's the time they have to learn to hold it. Trust me, that's the fast way to train them. Okay, so when you get up, the first thing in the morning, you grab your puppy, you run to the door, and if you have a bell, ring the bell, and then go outside. And then let them pee. They wake up, they pee, they eat, they poop. That's technically the easiest way to train a puppy. Whatever you read online every hour does not work, because the phone calls and emails I always get are the people that let them out every hour. And guess what? Not every hour the puppy has to go. So when you go out, the puppies are like, yay, playtime. They don't have to go. And then when you go in, 15 minutes later, all of a sudden they decide it's time to go. And now you're like, oh, missed it. Why in the world? I go out every hour and it's not working. It's because the reason why I train the way I train is because you have to get them when they naturally have to go. When do they naturally have to go? They wake up, they pee, they eat, then they poop. So that's why I tell everybody, give them 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 15 minutes, and then you take the food away. Okay, so breakfast, you give them 15 minutes, let them eat, take it away, go poop. Within 15 minutes, they tend to have a bowel movement. Here's your lunchtime, 15 minutes. Take the food away, go poop. Dinner, 15 minutes. Take it away, go poop. Do this till they are trained. Once they are trained, you could leave the food out. That's really the key for potty training. So once they're trained, you could leave the food out because you don't have to worry about it. Some people like to continue this pattern, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's fine. But for now, here's your food. Now it's gone. Let's go poop. Every time they wake up, whether it's first thing in the morning, which is normal, during the day, they sleep a lot. Puppies can sleep up to 16 hours a day. So every time they wake up, so whether it's first thing in the morning, during the day, they just pass out on the floor, on the couch, lay in their crate, they get up. That's your cue. Let's go outside because you likely have to go to the bathroom. So that's the fastest way of training a puppy, because they start to realize, hey, I have this pressure down below, and I always go to that door. And since there's a bell, I can ring you to warn you, like, excuse me, gotta go, ring, ring, ring. Before you know it, they will warn you to let you know they gotta go to the bathroom. If you do not have a bell, you can ring they can't ring the doorbell, so they kind of go like, okay, that's the door. Well, I'll just go and see if I can find you. And then you're like, oh, you're so cute. Yeah. I'm in the middle of something. And then you continue, and then all of a sudden you go to the kitchen and there's a nice little puddle or pile, and you're like, why is this dog not being trained? So one of the things, by the way, I need to mention, do not pee pad train. And the reason why I say this is because pee pad train is like the worst invention ever. I don't know whoever came up with it, but it's the silliest thing ever. Because, and I'll tell you why. First, you're like, good job, buddy. You did it in the house, on the floor. A month later, Bad job, buddy. You did it in the house, on the floor. There's no transition. It's a yes or a no. It's a binary system. Yes or no. It's not like, yeah, it's okay. You were moving the pee pad to the back door, but at some point you still have to go to the other side of the door. So honestly, I have had people train their puppy within 3 days. I tell people 3 to 5 days is not abnormal. It's been happening quite often, and we've had even lots of people over the years, no accidents at all, because they did what I told them to do. And this is really the key. So no pee pad, start outside immediately and go as soon as they wake up and as soon as they're done eating. That's when you go outside. The in-betweens will end up outside very quickly, especially when you have a bell, because they learn to ring the bell. So every time you go to the door, you ring the bell, you encourage your puppy. First you push them against, they use their paw, their nose, and that encourages them. They start to associate the bell with I gotta go outside and I do my thing. If in a rare circumstance your puppy does not ring the bell and you try to encourage them to ring the bell, what you can do is have someone on the other side of the door with a bag of treats that they already like, someone on the inside. You get them to move to the bell. When they touch the bell, you open the door, you push them out, the person outside gives them a treat. Good job, buddy. Back in the door, back in the house, close the door and start over. Do the same thing over and over till they start getting it. And then once they start getting it, they're like, hey, I ring the bell, I get a treat, this is awesome. And then you start weaning them off the treats slowly. And then you have to do it twice before you get a treat, etc. Okay, moving on. Okay, so this is going to be the most important thing I can mention to you ever, because this is for some reason the thing that people tend to overlook and don't understand very well. How much do I feed my dog? I never give you an answer when you're here, because if I give you one answer today, next week they need more food, and you are now starting to underfeed your dog. So what I always like to tell people, just fill the bowl. I don't care. When the bowl's empty, top it up. Keep filling it. Always full, full, full. And the reason why I started telling people this is mainly because what happened was people were starting to underfeed their dog. They were so set, oh, it's exactly this amount. They put it in the bowl. No, 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 that's it. That's what I was told. Unfortunately, the body of the dog grows from now till 6 to 9 months. Roughly at that time, they plateau. So in the beginning, they go up with the amount of food. They kind of plateau, and then they dip down. Just like us being teenagers, you start to eat a lot, and then you dip down and kind of adult stage, and you kind of continue with that. That's how dogs do it. When there's always food, they're not concerned about food. So what happens is they actually self-regulate themselves. They actually eat what they need. If you start to underfeed them, whenever they have a chance, they will start to overeat. That's kind of the problem there. So the most important thing really is always have a bowl full of food. Yes, I did say remove the food after 15 minutes, but once they are trained, just leave the food out and always have a full bowl, because they, as I said, they will self-regulate themselves. Water all the time. Not in their crate. Never food or water in the crate unless they are scared of the crate and you need to use the food in the crate to kind of calm their mind about the crate a bit. But in most cases, you feed them separate from their crate. As I said, you remove the food, but not the water. Leave the water out. Unless you find that they drink too much water at the time, then you may have to sometimes regulate them a little bit. Okay, bathing. These dogs, cockatoos and mini golden doodles, they only need a bath once a month or once every 2 months. So they basically 6 to 12 times a year. That's it. Please use dog shampoo when you can. If you do not have that available, the only thing I would say is maybe kids shampoo, but never adult shampoo. Our shampoo is made differently, or our soaps are different than what dogs need, because their skin is different. What happens is if you give them too many baths, their skin starts to dry out. It's the same as we wash our hands 100 times a day. Your skin gets really rough and you start to crack and all that stuff. It starts to get itchy, you start to crack, you start to bleed. It's the same with dogs if you wash them too many times, for this particular breed at least. Okay, so then grooming, I recommend 3 to 4 times a year. So a haircut, basically 4 times a year. Some people do it more frequently. That's depending on your preference on how long or short you would like it. I do recommend try to brush them about 2-3 times a week. What you will find is once you give them a haircut, you don't have to brush them for a while. The longer the hair, the more frequently you have to brush them. It just gets matted, just like our own hair. Okay, walking your puppy, you can start right away. I do recommend a leash and a collar, not a harness and not a retractable leash. Meaning just a one single thing around their neck, not the harness. And I always like to explain it to everybody. The harnesses are being pushed on the internet because there are some people that have treated their dogs poorly, unfortunately, and yanked their dogs. And yes, yanking by the neck is dangerous. If you train your dog properly, which you should never have to do that. What happens, I always like to explain it to everybody. I always like to ask a question. Okay, how many animals do you know that wear a harness and what's their purpose? Horse, donkey, whatever. They all have a harness to pull. You see? So if you give a dog a harness, he has to pull you. So why is my dog pulling me all the time? Well, you're giving them a job, an outfit to pull you. So if you have a regular collar, you get a quick tug. Oh, pay attention. A dog should always walk beside you, not in front of you, not behind you. I have some training videos on that as well, so I recommend you go over there as well. The size of the collar, what I recommend you do is take your puppy with you to the store, somewhere between 8 and 12 inches. Every puppy is a little different. There's a couple of smaller cockapoos, and also as well as the mini golden doodles. There's some bigger ones in there as well, so the size is different. So I can't give you an exact size, but the way you size the collar is you make it in a circle, you push it over their head, it will go over their head, you flop their ears through, and then you shouldn't be able to get it out. It should get stuck behind their ears. If you can still get it over, they can do the same thing as well. So just over, and it looks almost tight like that. But that's the way to size it. As long as you can just get it over, it looks funny. Their eyes go a little like that. It's just because their skin gets moved. That's the way you size it. That way it can't get off. And once it's on, you'll notice that you can put about 3 or 4 of my fat fingers in there still. That's how much space you have once you're over it. Okay, we're almost there, guys. Don't be alarmed. It is very normal for the first few days that the puppy is a little anxious, a little nervous, a little stressed sometimes around new family members, new homes, other pets, other dogs, other cats. Don't be alarmed. This is normal. They just have to adjust to a new family life. They may not eat for up to 36 hours. They will eat. Trust me. I get a phone call after 24 hours. My dog hasn't eaten yet. I'm like, just wait a little longer. They will eat. They always do. It never fails. So don't be alarmed. They will sometimes not eat. Here's your food. 15 minutes. Take it away. Too bad. I know it sounds cruel, but you got to be strong and be an alpha. If you accommodate to them, they will expect it forever. It's the same thing as the way I tell people how people raise kids nowadays. What color do you want? What food do you like tonight? No, you want blue or red? I want the green one. You're blue or red? Blue. That's just the way you train a dog too. Don't give them too many options. Now your food's here. Now it's gone. Oh, I missed out. Yeah. Next time, buddy. Okay. Trust me, they'll do it. That's the best way to train your dog. It's not cruel. You're the alpha. You got to do it. Okay. What else is here? Okay. So normally I tell people that are work from home people or stay at home parents, and especially now during this time where you likely have a couple more weeks of staying with your dog, there could be happening 2 things. Your dog may get too much stimulation right now, which make them sometimes a little crazy. They get a little agitated sometimes because there's too much impulses on them, or too much on you. So what I often have, like I've had phone calls from people that work from home, like, oh my gosh, I can't get anything done because the puppy's constantly with me and all the time, blah, 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 and etc. So what I tell people to do is just put your puppy in the crate, from 10 till 12 in the morning, and then let them out for lunch, and then from 1 to 3, 1 to 4, you put them back in the crate. When people are not at home, work from home, they're not there anyway, so the puppy is also in the crate. So that's the way it goes. That way they get into a routine, they get used to it. It takes a few days to get used to it, but that way you have some time off. Just like moms with newborn babies, they put them down for a nap time. Mom needs some sanity. Baby's not tired, too bad. You're going to have a nap because I need my time. That's just the way you do it. Okay, I think I covered most of the stuff. Obviously, there's a lot more in my other videos, and I should have a link below this video for you as well. I think I got it all, hon. All right. You can always follow up. When you get our guarantee, there will be an email under there. Normally we ask people to call, but right now we have so many phone calls, it's not even funny. Like, it's every 3 to 5 minutes there's a phone call happening. So right now we just turn the phone off. I can't talk all day about when's your next. That just feels like a repetition there. On the guarantee, there's an email, a private email from the end. You can email us there with any questions, and we will try to follow up as soon as we can when we have that. And I think that's it. And enjoy your puppy, by the way. All right, take care, guys.